Hello from Calico, California, a little ghost town that was only a town for about 20 years in the late 1800s. And today we're going to check out and see what is here. It is now a tourist attraction that was created by the same people that created Knott's Berry Farm here in California as well. So take a look around with me. We'll talk about the history and we'll see the touristy place that this is today. Calico, California began in March of 1881, when prospectors from all over came in search of the rich minerals in the area, with silver being the most prominent, quickly making Calico one of the richest silver mining districts in the state. $86 million worth of silver and $45 million worth of borax were mined from the over 500 mines here. The population quickly grew to meet the needs of the mines, and in 1887 the population peaked, with over 1,200 people living in Calico. Saloons, red light districts, and schoolhouses were built to accommodate the people and families living here. However, as is the story with so many mining boom towns, when the silver price dropped by over half, Calico's population quickly dropped as well. In 1951, Walter Knott, the founder of Knott's Berry Farm, bought the town and restored it, rebuilding buildings, saving existing buildings, and turning this into a historical theme park of sorts. In 1966, he donated the town of Calico to San Bernardino County, making it a county park. Only 5 original buildings remain intact today: the Calico Park Office Building, Lane's General Store, Lil's Saloon, the Zenda Mining Company building, and Lucy Lane's house. Lucy Bell Lane is one of Calico's most well-known residents, and likely one that was perhaps here for the longest, having lived here for 67 years. She was known as the Queen of Calico, and knew everything that was happening and had happened here in town, often telling stories of the local mines. Lucy arrived in Calico with her parents and siblings in 1884, when she was 10 years old. 8 years later, at the age of 18, she married John Lane. Together, they bought and operated a grocery store in town that was successful until the population started to fade away. They left Calico in 1899, but would return for good in 1916, briefly living in their previous store building, which still stands here today, and then moving almost across the street to what used to be the courthouse and post office building. Their house is also still standing here today and is available for you to walk through. John passed away in 1934, but Lucy lived here until 1965, at a time when nearly no one else was living in Calico. There are multiple add-on experiences available for purchase once you have entered into Calico, including a mystery shack, gold panning, the Maggie Mine tour, which I will show you in a few minutes, and a ride on the Calico Odessa Railroad, which is an 8-minute ride on a small gauge railroad which is narrated and includes stops en route to point out historically significant sites. It is a fun little ride, and although it is a short line, it included enough to see that I felt I got my money's worth out of it. The engineer was also a pretty comical guy, keeping things interesting. After I went on the train ride, I went right next door to a little museum that has information on the mines and on Calico's glory days.
As I hear it, back in 1881, some gentlemen were sitting around town hall discussing.
It also has the entrance to the Maggie Mine, which you can pay to do a self-guided tour through, which takes about 10 to 15 minutes. The tour through the mine was much cooler in temperature than the hot desert outside, making this a very welcome stop. Not to mention it was very interesting and educational. The tour begins with a blacklight display, showing the minerals in the rocks. The mine is kind of unique in that it does not have much of a wooden or structural support system, as many other mines do, since this is considered hard rock mining, as the rock is made from volcanic ash. The tunnels support themselves because of how hard the rock is here. Along the tour, there are ore chutes where the ore would have been dropped down from higher levels to be loaded onto the ore carts and taken out of the mines. There is a large open area called Dead Man's Drift, which was where many ore veins were concentrated, resulting in an entire room to be carved out, an area which is called a stope. There is also a spot dug out of the rock that the Mulcahy brothers lived in as their part-time residence, at a time when the mining in Calico had mostly subsided. Right across from the Mulcahy brothers' residence is what is called the Glory Hole, where ore was hoisted straight up instead of pushing the carts out to the main entrance, which would have been farther away to take them. This little house has an interesting story. Apparently, it used to have tiny little doll houses out in the yard, but instead of dolls living in them, local wildlife lived in them instead, to the point that eventually they had to take the little houses in the yard away because there was becoming a rampant infestation of squirrels and similar creatures. There are a plethora of shops and displays to walk through in town. Nearly every building here is open to the public in one way or another. There are also lots of really unique and interesting structures here, including a bottle house, which is similar to one that we saw in the nearby ghost town of Rhyolite, Nevada, which you can see in another of our videos. There is a schoolhouse, which I could not figure out how to get closer to, as the little bridge that takes you over there was closed. At first, I thought it was a church building, but no, it is a recreation of the town's schoolhouse. You can see the Calico jail, as well as a blacksmith shop, and a fire hall that holds an authentic horse-drawn fire engine inside from the 1800s. The Zenda building, which is one of the few original buildings still standing, houses a little museum with displays on mining, and also houses artifacts from the days when Calico was a booming town, including some children's toys found during reconstruction of the town. There are multiple places to eat on site, including the Calico House restaurant, Lil's Saloon, another of the original buildings, and a new burger place that is expected to open later in 2024. Down near the parking lots is the old cemetery, which you can freely walk through. Calico has overnight camping options available for tents, RVs, and they also have a few cabins for rent. This is a fantastic little ghost town. I know that much of this was rebuilt and isn't original, but it was all done in the spirit of the original, and in most cases right where the original was. If you are traveling on the thruway between Los Angeles and Las Vegas, it is a very quick drive, just a few miles off of the thruway to get here, just north of Barstow, California, which we will be covering in our next video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and follow us for more great travel videos coming soon. We'll see you next time, somewhere else, down the road.